think our story was over?
You're dead.
You, of all people, know that dead is just a word.
He's here.
And welcome to Talking About the Movies, as we continue the anniversary celebration of 20 years of covering the biggest new releases of the weekend here on the show. We have the biggest new release this weekend, which is a sequel to a surprisingly really good film from the summer of 2022, written by Scott Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill, Spill.com fame, and directed by Scott Derrickson, and produced by Blumhouse. And, you know, this was one of their movies that came out that year that was one of the big surprise successes, and it was so successful they decided to make a sequel off of it 3 years later, and that film, of course, is Black Phone 2. So Black Phone 2 takes place about 4 years after the events of the original movie, this one taking place in 1982, as we follow Finn, played by Mason Thames, who you recently just saw as Hiccup in the live-action How to Train Your Dragon movie, now 17, struggling with life after his captivity from the Grabber, played by Ethan Hawke. His sister begins receiving calls in her dreams from the Black Phone, and sees disturbing visions of 3 boys being stalked at a winter camp known as Alpine Lake. And right from the get-go, the trailer for this movie really suckered me in right away. Not just because it was a sequel to a movie I really liked from a couple of years ago, but the fact that it takes place in the winter time. Anytime I see winter on a big screen in any type of a movie, it could be a supernatural film like this one, a crime thriller, a comedy, an action film, just seeing that on the big screen, that wintry landscape, it really does something with me, and it just adds another element to a movie that I really do appreciate a lot from. And the trailers for this really sold me right away, because not only with that element there, it reminded me of another similarly based supernatural horror film set in the wintertime that came out way back in the 1980s, a movie called Ghost Story. Now, if you don't know what this movie is, it features a group of elderly businessmen in New England who gather to recount their involvement with a woman's death decades prior, when one of them suspects her ghost has been haunting them. This is a movie that features Craig Wasson, Alice Krige, who you'll later see in the Star Trek movie First Contact, but most notably, a radically different performance from somebody like Fred Astaire, who plays a really against-type performance in this. But you also have Melvin Douglas, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., and John Houseman. This is actually the last movie that Astaire and Fairbanks did before their passing, and it's a very cool-looking film in general, just from the snowy aspects of it, the creep factor, the visuals are very impressive. I mean, this is back in the 1980s, when movies like this just looked incredible, because it was all practical effects. They weren't using computers, certainly weren't using AI on any way, shape, or form. It felt real because it did look real. It looked like you were right in the middle of this, and you were actually seeing this happen as it was going on here, and it was just something that worked so well. It's a movie that has had a cult following over the years. It recently got a Shout Factory release, but actually a long time ago got a Shout Factory Blu-ray release, but it's a movie I definitely watched recently, especially after after seeing this trailer again. I really liked what I saw from it, man. I really loved this movie. I really enjoyed it. It's a really good film. If you haven't seen this movie, definitely check that out, because it is a really cool-looking horror film, and right around perfectly for the time of Halloween. I bring it up because Ghost Story reminded me of what I saw from this trailer for Black Phone 2. And just like with Ghost Story, there's a lot about what I really like about that movie put into this movie. For one thing, the wintry landscapes are incredible to look at. The cinematographer, Par M. Ekberg, does a fantastic job creating this really gothic feel in the snow, with this creepy-looking motherfucker in the Grabber just skating around and being as creepy as he can be. I mean, Ethan Hawke just sells this character so much. He just plays it to a T. He's intimidating, he can be funny at times, and he can literally scare the shit out of you, like he does a couple times here. There are some really good jump scares in this, and not the typical jump scares, but jump scares that actually feel authentic. They don't feel forced whatsoever. This just works to a T. I mean, this is a movie that I think is just as good, if not a little bit better than the original film. It adds to the lore of the storyline. It creates a new edge that wasn't there in the first movie. And it really does keep you invested throughout the course of the film. This is a 2-hour movie, but it really does feel like the time goes by because you're so invested in what's going on here. and how these kids are going to get through this whole thing. Like, you really don't know for certain how it's going to end. And that's what I really appreciate about a movie like this. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. It's a thrilling movie that keeps you scared, keeps you invested in what's going on here. And it's a film that is one of the best, it really is one of the best horror sequels I've seen in a long, long time. I mean, this is right up there with films like Aliens. This is right up there with, The Conjuring 2 is another good horror sequel. Hell, Smile 2 that came out last year was actually pretty good, and surprisingly as good as, as biting as the satire in that movie was biting as the original film was. I mean, there's so many other ones I can mention too here that I'm not thinking of at the top of my head, but it mostly works because you've got two really good filmmakers here, Scott Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill, who clearly know what they're doing and clearly have an idea of what they're trying to work with here. This is the movie that I was hoping that Sinister 2 would be, because the original Sinister was a great movie, also starring Ethan Hawke, but Sinister 2, definitely not as good as the original film, and it doesn't help that, Derrickson and Cargill wrote the script for that movie, but Derrickson didn't direct that one. I felt like if you had him directing that movie probably could have been as good as the original. This is what I was hoping Sinister 2 was going to be like. A movie that adds more to the storyline, creates a bigger landscape, builds more of a bigger story, creates more tension, creates more terrifying moments, and just lets Ethan Hawke do whatever the hell he wants to. And he just sells it, man. This is a great film. I was actually really surprised at how much I enjoyed the hell out of this. It actually surprised me more than I could have imagined with it. And it also ends it too on a note where they could easily stop this movie here. There's no room to make you could really stop the film here without having to do a sequel with it. Although they probably will do it, considering that the film's going to do decent business overall. I mean, this is probably the best thing Blumhouse has done in a while now. I mean, this is the last one. The last one I think I got really excited for when it came to Blumhouse. What was it? I think it was. I can't remember it now, but it's been a lackluster year for them. I mean, they've had some movies that were okay, nothing spectacular, like Woman in the Yard. I saw that. I thought it was okay. Drop I thought was actually really good, but sadly nobody went to go see that film. But then you had stuff like Wolfman, which was one of the biggest bombs of the year. Megan 2.0, which was a huge flop as well, especially considering the original film. The last really good thing I think that I've seen from Blumhouse that I can think of right off the top of my head probably is the original Megan. And that was a movie that worked because it was a silly fun. It was a concept that was taken so seriously, but it was so fun. It was a silly concept taken so seriously and just had a lot of fun moments to it. But it's been a while since I've gotten really excited for a Blumhouse film, and I feel like this one knocked it out of the park big time. This was definitely a film that really lived up to my expectations, and maybe even surpassed them a little bit. But it's a really good movie. It is definitely much better than the original Black Phone. By a little bit. I mean, I say it's like a masterpiece compared to the other one. I still love the original one, but this one is slightly better. I'll say that. It's slightly better than the original Black Phone is. I think both of these movies are really good. I feel like they could stop it here. They really don't need to add any more to it, but we know they're probably going to do another film with this, but with the storyline, if it's successful, which it probably will, but bottom line, I really enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I think it was a really good film. I highly recommend it. If you're looking for a good new film to watch this Halloween, Black Phone 2 is definitely it. So, needless to say, thumbs up on the Black Phone 2. So, quick review for this one here. With all that said, thank you so much for watching this. And what do I have planned for next week? I'm asking myself, as I'm speaking to myself in the third person for some reason. We have another one of my 20th anniversary specials. We have the worst remakes of the last 20 years. 20 years of looking at movies. There's been a lot of remakes. But which ones do I consider to be the worst of the worst? Well, we're going to find that out on the next episode. So be sure to tune in for that next time around. But if you want to hear what I had to say about Tron Ares last week, check out the link in the corner. Check out the video below. Check out the playlist below to see some other episodes I've done. And I will see you guys next week. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification button. So with all that said, I will see you guys next time around. So thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care.